Warning, the contents of this podcast is meant for mature audiences only. So all you people who are immature at heart, you're right at home. Hello, and welcome to The Breakup, a podcast that had a very terrible previous episode, where you destroy the things you love by giving them away. I'm your co-host, Jacob Waskow, filling in for Sam Young, who's ill this evening.
Wretchedly sick.
Apparently he has a case of the raspy laugh.
I got a case of the Waskows.
Oh, see, that's mean. You're a prick.
You started it. You no holds barred.
I was the arms dealer with the raspy laughs. And here we are. Here we are at this, the Fallout episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a lot to unpack after last time. There were some raw emotions on the last episode.
Listen, viewer, listener, I'm not going to apologize for what I did last time. I feel that that's unfair to you and unfair to my co-host here, who I'm clasping firmly on the shoulder and squeezing tightly.
That feels good.
Just tightly enough to be a little disconcerting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say anything more about that terrible, terrible episode.
Shall never speak of it again.
Yeah. So what did I...
Well, let's just run them through. This is only like the third episode. We should probably run them through the premise.
I thought we would have settled for text by now. Fine.
One more time.
One more time. One
more time.
This is the last time, I swear to God. We're doing a cold opening next time. In fact, me saying we're doing a cold opening next time is going to be the cold opening. Yeah. So,
tell the people.
Faithful listener, what we do is we take a piece of media that we love personally, and we give it to our respective alternative co-host, who we like to think of as our best friend.
Quote, unquote.
And we review each other's favorite things, whether they be movies, experimental albums, a man screaming into a microphone for 30 minutes.
I made you listen to our last episode.
David Lynch films, you know.
All right, I think they get the idea. So I guess I'm going first
You didn't have to... Yeah, I guess you are.
I'm going first this week. What media did I intake this week, Jacob?
You intook the media of a comic, and that comic was Kill 6 Billion Demons.
I took that very literally, actually. I killed some demons this week.
Jeez, was it was it hard?
You know, they don't put up much of a fight, really. Being fictional creatures.
That was so weak. That joke was so weak.
You didn't let me finish it. Fuck it. Oh God, it's my turn to go fuck it every time something goes wrong in this episode. So Kill 6 Billion Demons is the story of a young woman, finding her way through the world, guided by her best friend Angel. And it's really just Buffy the Vampire Slayer in a comic form.
I wish I could cry, but the Botox doesn't help me.
I'm not good at improvising. This is why most of this podcast is you riffing and me laughing.
Well, I'm glad you acknowledge my inherent superiority.
At least in this regard. Kill 6 Billion Demons was about a young woman who is sucked into an alternate dimension where she is given the Ultra MacGuffin, and she has to go kill, as the title elucidates, 6 billion demons, and rescue her kind of skeezy boyfriend. And along the way, she meets some cool characters.
Fun cast all around. So I guess this is the part where I explain why I like this.
Yeah, tell me why you like it.
Okay, listen up, everybody. This comic saved the fantasy genre for me.
That's some pretty big shoes to fill.
Yeah, this saved it for me after 24, almost 25 Gregorian years.
Gregorian years? So they were really happy years?
Yeah, after Tolkien, after Elf, after Tolkien, after stupid fucking... Just, it's constantly the same thing over and over again.
I should warn our listeners that Jacob is very racist against elves, and he is not going to ever apologize for that. So
If you have pointed ears, I will. I don't want the Defamation League to go after us. I should probably stop while I'm ahead. The point is,
The EDL will come after you, yes.
I don't know who the EDL is. You know I'm not smart enough to
The
know.
the Elf Defamation League.
The Elf Defamation League? They got that now?
I guess it would be the Elf Anti-Defamation League. We're getting off track, as per usual.
We're giving them too many civil rights. Listen, this comic is like a breath of fresh air for me. It's someone who's taking the idea of, well, okay, let's look at a situation that's kind of high stakes, lots of magic going on, and that's kind of the main MacGuffin-y part of the story. But it's not involving fucking wizards or spells that happen from a tome or from magic dragon blood. There's no fucking dragons for the dragon blood to come from.
Jacob isn't racist against wizards and dragons, but they do know what they did.
They do know what they did. Never forget.
Hashtag never forget.
And it's not that I hate fantasy stuff anymore.
No, I mean, you play a lot of fantasy stuff.
Yeah. But sometimes it's just like, say, Dragon Age. It's just like, oh man, here are 3 really good ideas. And then the rest of all of this stupid shit.
I was actually saying to enemy of half the podcast and nothing else, Jesse Cowell, the other day.
Why do you keep talking to him?
I don't know. It just keeps popping back up. It's like a virus. No, what we were talking about is that an interesting fact of the fantasy genre is that you kind of have 2 types, or well, I guess 3 types, because sometimes it's just really good. You either have the thing that is a really amazing world building example. You feel like this is a world that keeps going on after the characters stop. Lots of details, very rich, but the story is kind of meh. Or you have the ones which are like, the story's really good, it's a really compelling plot, but it's almost like, why is this fantasy? The setting is very generic, or it just doesn't matter. Yeah. And it's the rare thing that really blends it well. And I would say, to sort of segue into my opinion on this, I think Kill 6 Billion Demons does it really well. That it needs a shorter title that we can call upon.
No, you're saying the whole fucking thing every time. Kill 6 billion demons. That's the mantra that main heroine protagonist. That's her name. That's her angel name.
Yeah, that's her true name, yeah.
You gotta fucking deal with that.
I was reading the TV Tropes entry on it after I finished it, which I did. I read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or up to this, like the most recent one. I like the description of their names. Name unfolds like lotus is a very good description of the angel names and the true names of people in that.
And they're interesting names. It's because there's a distinct set of patterns depending on the one. And like the great part, say, for the angels is that every single angel has a number in their name.
Okay, we shouldn't probably go into the cosmology of this because it actually is really complicated.
Side note, talk about that fucking cosmology dog, like not going into details, but great cosmology, right?
Holy shit, yeah.
What if heaven existed and we killed God to get his god powers?
Well, God killed herself because existence is pain.
Yeah! And then the humans come and fuck everything up.
As they do. I actually didn't realize, I feel I kind of have to go back and reread some stuff because there's, in addition to the comic, each post has a little like piece of lore or a hymnal or like a koan from this fictional universe, and it kind of expands on, you know, the backstory and the setting. And I actually didn't realize that the author was doing this until I was kind of pretty far in the comic. So I kind of have to go back.
You know what you also don't know about what the author does? There's an RPG for the setting, Sam.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, we might have to play with that.
Yeah, I really fucking want... You have to pay some money. You have to become a Patreon. But I, like, as soon as they made it, I'm wearing it right now, the fucking Kill 6 Billion Demons t-shirt. I wear it around.
I think I've seen you wear that.
Yes, you have, because I wore it fucking loud and proud when I visited Vancouver. And I wear it around Ottawa, and I get the dirtiest looks. I'm terrified for my life every time I fucking walk out wearing this thing.
They're very pro-demon in Ontario.
When I visited Parliament Hill, there was one solitary protester of Let's Kill the Demons. There's just the one guy, and everyone fucking hated him.
Justin Trudeau, this doesn't get out into like American media, but committed Satanist. So you're just barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
I don't know how you've survived this long with that T-shirt.
Well, I mean, didn't like a newspaper sort of say, "Oh, look at Pierre Trudeau. He's a Satanist, does the orgies, does the drug stuff," and then Justin was like, "Oh no, we're never talking to this guy. You let out the biggest secret, the Trudeau secret."
This week on The Breakup, the expose you've been waiting for.
That is, I think, the most esoteric fucking joke we've ever done.
Well, the people are tuning in for our blinding wit. Anyway, we should give. Okay, so
I'll say it quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Progressive conservatives.
You. So 6 Billion Demons. I can't really express how much I like the world, how much I liked taking Hinduism and Buddhism and Gnosticism and sort of blending it together and making it like this really.
Yeah, but what about the plot?
Well, okay, let me get there. Because I really like that the religion is horrible. That God is kind of like, yeah, you should just be a liar and a bastard, and that's existence. But the plot, I actually do like the plot. I think it takes like kind of a tired trope. The damsel in distress becomes the hero kind of thing. And I think it does it in an interesting way. Actually, let me compare it to my least favorite movie ever. Have you seen Jupiter Ascending? Have I talked to you about this?
No, because you and every single person we knew saw Jupiter Ascending over to me and went, I hate it, I want to cry. And then you went on this long rant about how much you hated Jupiter Ascending.
I've gone on many rants. I know a lot of people love it, and you know what? More power to you. I hate it. I hate Jupiter Ascending.
Wow, this is the episode you get mad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, gotta let the anger flow.
Get angry. Come on, do it. Fucking blast them.
I think it's the ultimate example of trying to present an empowered female protagonist and then just doing nothing with her. Because I think the protagonist is a lump. Nothing interesting happens to her that she causes. All the characters around her are just like treat her like an object. I don't think she's some sort of like modern feminist hero. I think Star Wars Force Awakens did it way better like 2 years later or however long. Oh, it's just a ridiculous, stupid movie. And the only good thing in it is Eddie Redmayne getting the blowjob from the galaxy. That is a performance you should see. Anyway, point being, it tries that thing where like the hero is, they get the call to adventure after being like, oh, I want something better for my life. And then they're like, oh shit, I didn't actually want this. And I like I like the way Kill 6 Billion Demons does that better than I like, obviously, Jupiter Ascending. Also, it's really colorful and the characters are really cool and they all have interesting motivations. And I really like Sio. I think she's a lot of fun. And I like I won't spoil anything for anyone who hasn't actually read this, which you should go out and do. But
Please fucking read it.
Read it.
Give them all your money. They're going to do a trade soon. Buy the trade.
Yeah, I might actually go out and buy the book. So, oh god damn it, you keep giving me these things I really fucking like, and I just don't. It's so one-sided at this point. You're so much better at this than I am.
What about that thing that you didn't like in the hidden episode?
Yeah, that we must not speak of. I mean, okay, no, I didn't like that. Yeah. I distinctly did not like that. But everything after that has been pretty. It's like you know me too well. Like you know me better than I know you.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? I feel like that's actually a huge hint on my opinion on the thing you gave me. But actually, let's keep going on this. Do you have any final comments? Kill 6 Billion Demons.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind unpacking like kind of because I don't want this to be. I think I've said to you, and maybe not on mic, but I don't want this to be a review show. I kind of want it to be about like learning about each other's tastes and what we like.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So,
well,
no, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry. This is the most Canadian podcast ever where we stop and apologize to each other and talk about Trudeau a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Go.
Okay.
Say the thing.
So yeah, I was saying earlier, I was using the example of like a good fantasy setting. You feel like it still keeps going after the characters are done. And I really feel like that does this. And something I love is, I'll own this. I like urban horror. I like urban fantasy. And this is high fantasy. This is like, it's not Dungeons and Dragons exactly, but it's, it's very much in that vein. But I like that the city of Throne, which is where everything's set, is this urban, gritty, like you can smell the food as they're walking around, like the slums, like you can feel it, like there's grit to it.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that feeling of place. And I mean, I'm a big fan of, in science fiction too, the dirty sci-fi, dirty fantasy, where not everything is bright and shiny.
So gritty or punk.
But literally gritty. I mean, I like it to be dirty. I like to get down in the mud.
Grimy, real grimy.
So that, I mean, aesthetically, that really pleases me. I don't know if that's not good or bad, but that's just something that really draws me in.
Yeah, like for me, I quite like the sort of, I like the religion to it. I like the sort of punk aesthetic question mark in that, like, what you sort of view as like dirty grittiness, I view as like just utter refusal of nicety and nice things and status quos, etc., etc., etc. I also really like that there are night orders, because that's my secret fucking thing. You listeners, if you give me a piece of meat,
that's not a secret.
Well,
thing.
that's not a secret thing to you. That's a secret thing to you guys, the listeners.
Jacob likes trade guilds and knights. I'm not really sure how those two things are connected.
Anything that's a fucking club that's rad every day. And the oh shit, I forget the name. They're the aesthetic monks. There's the old woman with the big hair very early on in the comic, and she's at the noodle cart.
Oh, her. I think her name is she Maya? Is that her name?
Yeah, Maya or Ishimaya. And her entire order of vagabond swordsmen that are just like, yeah, be a fucking bum and kill all the time. Because if you become the ultimate skeezy bum, you will achieve enlightenment. Any mystic swordsman, really, I'm just like, yes!
Oh,
give me the mystics!
We are such dorks.
Yes. All right, we're at the 20-minute mark. We should probably switch to the end of it.
So, final verdict. Obviously, I loved
2 thumbs up.
Demons. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. Yo, so what the fuck did you make me watch, Sam?
Okay, and
this time
this might hurt depending on things go. I made Jacob watch my favorite movie, the film noir classic, The Third Man.
One of us should have learned the zither so that we could play that a bit.
I know. I kind of want to incorporate. I want to incorporate the theme song.
Fucking do it. Just do it.
I don't want to get sued.
They'll understand. It's a fucking Criterion movie. Can you get sued for that still?
It actually. Well, okay. I don't know about the song, but the movie actually. There's a lot of dispute over whether it was in the public domain, then it wasn't. And anyway, why don't you summarize that for us? This classic piece of British cinema that I love so much.
The Third Man is a story about a well-meaning so-so writer named Holly Martins. Great name. Martins is struggling to make ends meet and decides to take up an offer given to him by a friend for a job in war-torn Venice. This is like set in post-World War II. Martins arrives only to discover that his friend has been killed, and with a distrust of police and terrible lying...
Are you doing a real summary?
He decides to take the matter into his own hands and prove his friend's innocence and solve his murder. What follows is a descent into the depths of a mind refusing to give up, struggling to come to terms with a single clue he has. There is a third man. Night after night is spent half-remembered, drunken hazes, covering Martin's visions as he stumbles from landmark to landmark and wrestling with his compulsions to understand the world from behind a computer screen.
Oh, here we go.
That is, until he remembers, and in a dark corner, he sees his friend walk towards him, and then he realizes he was the third man all along.
Spoilers.
And all he wanted was to try and save the world. With your feet in the air and your head on the ground. Da, 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 da. I really like Mr. Robot, which I also watched this week. Listener.
There's a crossover I want to see.
Yeah. So, why do you like this?
First of all, I really love film noir.
I noticed
that. Aesthetically speaking, that speaks to me. I love the visuals. I love Orson Welles. I love... Sure. I'm just saying I love things. More specifically, I think it's...
Can I cut you off there? I'm going to cut you off there.
Okay,
I have a question for you, which is, I think, about why you like this movie.
Yeah.
Sam, did you want to be Holly Martins when you grew up?
No, because he's a milquetoast. He's so... He's such a loser.
No, 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 no. That's sounding like you now. What about when you first saw this, Sam? Be honest. You're laughing
Okay, he's
awkward.
basically murdering children, but I wanted to be Orson Welles.
Even though he's a sociopath in this movie.
It's just bad press, man. There's a radio show where he's like, no, it didn't go down that way. I mean, I like bleak stuff sometimes, and I think it's got quite a dark antagonist for a movie that was made in like 1950. And also, I think that the ending, again, spoilers for a 60 to 7-year-old movie, it has the greatest romantic snub in the history of film. So, there's that darkness is really attractive to me.
You like the darkness and
I like the
apparently
darkness.
don't like metal? I feel
That's not germane to the
there's a
conversation.
lot going on in this film, and I took, like last time, I took notes, and we're gonna go through them piece by piece.
Okay.
So, biggest plot point: Holly Martins goes to across the world for work, and knows no German. He didn't bother to learn hello. He moved to Venice and was like, yeah, no, everyone be speaking English. Fucking whatever. Who cares? I don't give a shit. Fuck,
Well, he's
I'm a
kind of
writer. They'll know
He's
me.
kind of a naive idiot. Like, the movie makes no bones about the fact that this was a mistake. He shouldn't have done this. But he was relying on this vague friendship he had with this guy from way back when.
Well, it was a 20-year friendship, so, was it that vague for, 20 years?
I guess, okay. I had the memory that they only, knew each other as, kids. Or
Well, yeah,
teenagers.
but, 20 years of, being friendship kids and then away for 10 years or whatever because of the war, Other point, this is the worst little person / child actor moment I've seen in any movie, where there's a fucking kid, an actual child, that they have garbed in clothes, and he's like a fucking giggly, happy little boy who cannot act. Because he's giggling and smiling and calling mama as he points out, hey, I think that man's a murderer. I think he's a scary man. And so supposedly all these serious actors speaking very, very dark, brooding German to being like, oh, you see him? Yeah, he was with the man who died. It wasn't the third man, though. That would be weird. As he sort of follows along after Holly, as Holly's like, oh shit, they think I killed this man, we gotta fucking bounce. And so, Holly's, I forget the woman's name, the character woman.
I'll look it up.
Okay, so Holly and Babylicious. I'm not going with that. That's pretty terrible. I'm not
Yeah,
going with
let's.
Babylicious.
That's not cool.
They're running at a firm, brisk, power run. And this giggling child's like, they're over this way. And then an unruly fucking mob is 2 meters behind the child. They're we're gonna string these people on because they might be murderers.
Oh, it is
Because we're
Valley.
trusting the word of a child. What's her name?
Valley, or Alita Valley, which is her real name. And in the movie, her name is Anna Schmidt.
Yeah, so Anna and Holly have to hide in a movie theater.
Is your point to this, you this harping on this child actor?
No, I'm done. I was just about to finish before you asked if I had a point, which I didn't.
Well,
You goof. This is also a movie that I think is the only mystery I've ever encountered.
oh,
Where, at the beginning of the film, Holly Martin stumbles into a cop, and he's like, I don't like cops, they're stupid. And the cop's like, I'm gonna kind of be a dick to you because I don't like cops. And in every other fucking movie, they would have never gotten along, they would have never been friends, they would have always worked counter to each other, whether or not the cop was right or wrong in the end. They would just be antagonistic until the end. But for the first time ever, vaguely shady-looking cop at first, and then seems to be a real deal later on, goes, hey, Holly, let me tell you exactly every single piece of evidence we have to make me distrust your friend. And he does it.
yeah,
And
he
it's
does
a
it.
montage.
He lays it down.
And Holly's like, oh man, you're right.
My friend's a dick.
It's the smartest move on the goddamn planet possible. I was expecting, like, oh, I'm gonna shoot the cop, but oh no! The cop was right all along! But no, the cop's just like, hey, let me tell you everything to catch you up. 10 seconds later, I'm fully caught up now. Thank you, cop. No problem.
I like that he keeps mispronouncing his name.
Yeah, well, until, like, when they start to respect each other. Nice touch. Also, creepy line of Holly with Anna, and Anna, like, lightly chuckles at something. And in the creepiest move of Hollywood romance, Holly goes like, that's the first time I ever saw you laugh. Do it again. Like, he does, like, this creeping on her, kind of like, do it again. kind of thing. And I was just like, whoa, Holly, fucking put some brakes on. Just control yourself.
Take a cold shower, Joseph Cotton.
Yeah, just ease off on the throttle. And so I think I've been spending a lot of time on little bits and pieces. The movie overall, I find okay.
Okay.
It's okay. I'd give it like a 75%.
Interesting.
And now, the thing is, part of that is because I've probably seen in my lifetime many fucking movies that take a lot of the same sort of beats and strokes that this movie made, because it's such a classic fucking movie.
Yeah. It's that thing where it invents, well, it didn't invent the genre, but it certainly invented a lot of, like, bits and pieces of the genre.
Yeah. So, for curious viewers listening in, when I say I think it's okay, that's my gut personal opinion on the piece. I will eternally respect this film for what it did. When they say this has been voted the best movie of all time, I will believe them.
You don't need any evidence beyond, you're willing to accept that.
I am willing to confront my own opinion and feelings and go, I probably have had this spoiled for me, so I'm not enjoying this as much as, say, people in the 40s who were like, holy shit, I just came watching the moving pictures on the wall.
Yeah, that's what it was like in the 40s.
The ending's a little weak.
Really? Oh, I love the ending. Well, let's dig into that.
The chase scene is really overdrawn for me.
Oh, really?
Like, it just goes on and on and on and on, and I think I get what they were trying to do, which is, oh, here's Orson Welles trying to be clever, trying to lose the cops and everything, but every time, ooh, there are cops already there for like 10 to 15 to 20 minutes of the film. There's Orson Welles stumbling around in a smelly sewer, which apparently for filming was like incredibly belabored because Orson Welles refused to be in the sewer for like more than 5 minutes.
Really? I didn't know that.
Like
I didn't know that.
Well, I watch shitty British shows every now and then, and it was on Travel Man. They went into that sewer.
The Viennese sewers, yeah.
So, I mean, if it had been a little bit shorter, I'd be cool with it. It just overstayed itself a bit too much for me.
That's funny, because I don't remember it being particularly overdrawn, but I mean, I haven't, as per usual, I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, but I did, however, like, well, this would be really spoilery.
No, just
hey, viewer, it's an old movie. Go watch it and then listen to us. Why the hell would you do what I was saying? When Holly shoots
Harry Lime.
Oh
yeah, it is cold. It's perfect.
It's a Han shoots first kind of thing. It's very much a, wow, we used to be friends. What the fuck happened?
Bang. I also like that he doesn't get the girl in the end.
Well, I'm talking about the chasey, like, soft ending, not the actual ending. That's a good shot of her just sort of calmly walking up, and you think something's gonna happen, and then it fucking doesn't. She snubs him hardcore.
It's actually based on a book, or the screenwriters created a book and then turned it into a screenplay. The book wasn't really intended for publication. I think it was later. The book has a happy ending. What happened was that infamous thing where in the States they don't think the sad ending will play. So in Europe and the UK, they show the sad end or the unhappy ending. And in the States, they recut it so that she didn't walk away, which is truer to the book, but not, I think, artistically, not as true to the story.
Well, you are out of the two of us the more artistic and the more pretentious, so I'm going to trust you on this.
Yeah,
one.
And I can't defend myself anymore at this point after the movies have made you suffer through for the previous 3 episodes.
Yeah, so, okay. I mean, I think it's definitely got more of a punch than like the other stuff you've made me see so far.
Yeah. Well, it's a movie. It's got a narrative, like the weird experimental crap.
Well, it's also an interesting sort of view, and true to the nature of this podcast. This showed a lot about you to me.
Ah, interesting.
Because I'm not sure this will make the final cut of the podcast because this is a long diatribe.
I cut. You'd be surprised how much I cut down of our bullshit into usable content.
Well, like, you as a DM, as a like
Oh.
storyteller in games, you have run some sort of the Third Man-esque plot. I'm tempted to be a dick here and say every single time you've run a game, it's been that sort of presentation of a mystery, which is you have none of the pieces, and slowly the pieces get revealed.
Oh no, my secret!
And this is
No, stop! You can't tell the people.
here's the thing. This is part of why the movie's only 75% for me. I don't like those kinds of mysteries.
I see.
What I actually really think is a good mystery is all of the pieces are there.
Yeah.
No matter how subtle they are, they could be super fucking subtle.
I think they are there though
But-
in the Third Man. Well, here's the thing. They were this way. Back in 1950 or whatever, you see this. The cast for this movie is Joseph Cotten, Alida Valli, Orson Welles, and then you start watching the movie, and it's like, where's Orson Welles? And you're like, and they keep talking about Harry Lime, and you're like, oh, okay. Orson Welles is Harry Lime, and Harry Lime is still alive. Like the spoiler.
That's some meta shit I
No,
can't
but
deal with right
the
now.
spoiler is in the casting, which is kind of cool. Like, it's not about, is Harry Lime alive or not? It's about why is he still alive?
Fine, but I will counterpoint. You know what is the best mystery that I've
Okay.
ever watched? Who Framed Krusty? The Simpsons episode. I'm not even fucking goofing with you. That to me is the perfect
So
mystery.
you like really like blink and you miss it clues, as long as they're there, as long as they're specifically there.
As long as there is a fucking clue, I think it's a good mystery.
So you're not as much of a fan of like Sherlock Holmes, where the only way to really solve the mystery is to like.
Is that you're being friends with Sherlock Holmes?
It's the second time we've talked about Sherlock Holmes in this podcast.
Yeah, I would have expected Sherlock Holmes sooner from you. And it's not that like I will go, ugh,
Yeah.
this isn't smart, this is stupid. I will for some of it, but not just sort of out of principle. But it's just it's not my thing. And taste is subjective.
That should be our tagline
Yeah.
instead of destroying the things you love. It should just be taste is subjective. End of podcast.
No, I care too much about you as a person to believe that. If I was going to sell for you just being like, I like the things I like, Jacob, and you can't hurt that for me, I will beat you, Sam, until you like the right things.
I hate that I haven't wowed you yet. I want to.
No.
The David Lynch one you hated, which was great. Like, I didn't. That was just. That's a reaction I wanted. But I do not. I fucking want you to like something. I don't want it to be just like, I okayed it, Sam.
Well, I mean,
Which is not how you talk, actually, but
Yeah, I mean, I do try.
it's not. That's not a comment on you. That's a comment on my ability to read your tastes at this point.
The inherent problem of this podcast with me in it is that I don't think I've ever demonstrated to you guys effectively what my actual tastes are.
No,
if
you're a
anything.
mystery. Like we're often like, well, I wonder if Jacob will like this. Maybe he'll like it, or maybe he'll just like completely nothing it for no apparent discernible reason. And even though it's exactly like the other thing that we showed him that he really loved, or he'll completely hate it, and we won't know why. And it won't make any sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it. If this podcast is a contest, you're definitely winning at this point. Okay, so in the end, Third Man, you more than okay it. You liked it enough.
3/4 thumb up.
So you liked it as much as Koyaanisqatsi.
If I was gonna rate the two, I would put this above Koyaanisqatsi.
Okay, in which case, then, what is the theme that connects our two pieces of media this week? I have kind of an idea about that, but I'm curious. You should go first because I named all of them at this point. Or no, you named the first one.
You say yours.
Okay.
I didn't think of one.
Unfortunately, it's another D word, but that at this point, I feel like we should just lean into that. It's deception.
Yeah. Deception.
Yeah.
Deception.
Because, like, in the Third Man, it's all about what's really true, who is your friend, who is your enemy. And in Kill 6 Billion Demons, it's like, what is my destiny? Who is trying to hide that from me? What's really going on? So,
Also, Incubus.
Yeah.
Incubus is an entire character, is Deception.
I like him. I really want to see where that's going.
Oh, yeah. Fucking hype.
Well, you know me, I love the Bowie aspects.
Who literally becomes Bowie for like a panel. Fucking read the comic, guys.
Do it.
Can't.
Please. Here's a weird. Okay. Has nothing to do with anything. When I was a kid, I had a friend, and because we were like nerdy reject type kids, we had like this whole, not fantasy world exactly, but we had like this no, we'll call it a fantasy world. And long story short, we had an antagonist in it who was very clearly David Bowie in Labyrinth. And because my friend had seen that and really was taken with it. And I never knew that until I saw Labyrinth. I was like, oh, that was actually a person.
Fucking Jimmy was cheating. I thought he was like this sweet guy. I thought cool villains, but no, it's just fucking David Bowie
with an eye patch.
I'm mad.
Which is interesting because David Bowie had an eye patch in one of his personas. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. So we're Deception. Deception is the theme. I guess we're at the point where we're going to reveal what it is we're going to be watching and or viewing next week. You go first?
No, you go first.
Oh, I went first last time. All right, fine. Doesn't matter. All right, this time you will not be watching a movie. You will be reading a webcomic yourself.
Oh, shit.
You will be reading the horror anthology comic, False Positive.
All right. That's okay. I was expecting not that. I was expecting like here's like 2 hours of a dude screaming naked in a forest for.
I'm saving the Samuel Beckett stuff up for later. Don't you worry.
Oh my god, I'm fucking panicking right now. I'm in cold sweats.
I got the chills, Sam. I got the chills.
So when we started this project, Sam, there were 3 things that I was like, I have to show him this. This is the bravest part of me. We're just like, I have no idea if he's going to like this. This is so against his tastes. But he needs to see it. This is the first of those.
Okay.
Sam, you know what I'm going to tell you to watch. You are going to watch the anime adaptation of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, that's what I thought, actually.
Part 2. Just the part 2.
Oh, I'm going to make me watch another series again.
It's half as long as Berserk.
Okay, all right. That softens the blow.
Well, almost half. It's like a little bit more than, but like almost half as many episodes.
Uh-huh.
There you go. Just part 2.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know what part I'm going to share with him because the good stuff's too long, like the really like iconic stuff, and I don't want him to watch the really early stuff because it's actually basically kind of shit.
Well, I've heard it has vampires in it, and so you know me, I like vampires. So
well,
they're pretty different, I imagine.
I'm going to have to instruct you in 2 pieces of information before you watch part 2.
Well, I get some spoilers. Okay. Sounds good to me. All right, I guess we're going to wrap things up then.
Yeah.
So we'd like to thank Irritating Rainbow for our theme song, You Broke It, from the album Where'd the Truck Go? They are available on iTunes. I think I actually looked this up. They have other albums, which are also worth your while. Definitely something that was...
They're all very good.
Formative to my... Well, maybe not formative, but definitely influenced my my taste in music as time went on.
Yeah, you are a weird music fanatic.
Well, as evidenced by making you watch Koyaanisqatsi. Final thought.
Shameful. You're going to think I'm gay.
What?